Hello everyone and welcome to the latest episode of Sean's Movie Crusades. My name is Sean Waskrug and I'm here to review all the latest films in theaters as well as any as you recommend, whether they be recent films or old school movies. Now before we get into today's video, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and don't forget to follow us at all the social media things you see down below. Now today we're going to review a movie that is going to be up for some very important rewards here, whether they be Golden Globe or Oscar, and that is Green Book. Green Book, from the first time I saw the trailer, I thought Green Book was going to look like a fantastic film. I hadn't seen Viggo Mortensen do anything in quite a long time. Of course, obviously, he's one of my favorite performances of all time as Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. And then, of course, you have Mahershala Ali, who has just been amazing in everything in the past couple of years, whether it be, Moonlight, or Luke Cage, or even Into the Spider-Verse from, last month. So when I saw these two together, I thought this was going to be a really good pairing, and then based on the plot of the story and everything like that, it just looked like it was going to be a great film all around. The trailer itself actually looked really great, to the point where I felt that right off the bat, this was going to be something that was going to be nominated for many awards, which it has been. But the crazy thing about it was that who its director was, and that was Peter Flamp. I always say his name wrong. I don't know why, but it's Peter Farley. I want to say Flatley, and I knew that was wrong. Peter Farley is a director, and he's the director from There's Something About Mary and many just comedy films overall. That so when you saw that he was actually going to be taking the helm of this film, it was actually very weird and intriguing to the point with these two incredible actors with a comedy director, just how well they were going to be able to do the drama in this movie. Green Book, basically, in terms of the story, basically takes place in the 1960s, and it basically follows two characters. It follows Mahershala Ali's... Sorry if I'm saying that name wrong. It follows Mahershala Ali, who plays Dr. Don Shirley, and he's basically this phenomenal piano player, and he wants to basically travel the Deep South, which, back then, the Deep South was a very dangerous place for an African-American to go, and so he needs someone to basically be his guide, / protector, / chauffeur. And that's where Viggo Mortensen's character comes in, Tony the Lip, and basically he's kind of a fixer, in a sense. He's kind of a bouncer, he's just a guy that you go to get stuff done. Whether it's, beating the crap out of somebody or retrieving something, he's the go-to guy. And so, Tony is working at the Copa, and for reasons, in the film, he basically gets, the Copa gets shut down, and so he needs a job for 2 months, and, Dr. Don Shirley, basically hires him for the job. Now, obviously, in the beginning of the film, it looks to be that there is certain, racial or racism aspects coming out of Tony, so it was a very unique way to see exactly how this was going to go, because this is based on a actual true story between these two men. The big thing that they have to follow as they are traveling down south is the Green Book, which is the name of the title. And basically it's a book that African Americans use, where it is safe places that they can eat and stay, like hotels, in the Deep South, so that way they aren't basically ridiculed or attacked by white people down south. And so basically, Tony and Don are having to kind of go down south, hit all these performances so that way they get paid, while also trying to keep Don safe in the process. What actually works in this film overall is the performances. I mean, literally, this film does not work without the amazing performances of Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali. I'm saying it wrong every time I say his name, and I apologize. These two are fantastic together. Tony or Viggo is really laying it on thick with the accent as Tony. So I mean, some people might feel like that he's overacting that particular person, but according to resources and even his son, who was actually one of the producers of the film, he was basically doing pretty much a spot-on impression of Tony the Lip. And so both performances, like I said, they're fantastic overall. The story arcs that these two have to go through. I mean, Tony's going from a guy who's basically punch first, ask questions later, and basically also racist to a point. And then and he's having to kind of just grow as a person to always not be punch first, ask questions later, and to basically also be open to everybody's culture, whether they be gay and straight, white and black, musical inclined, or just tough. I mean, the arc that you see Tony grow as a person throughout the film is an amazing thing to watch. And then Mahershala Ali also, I mean, he's basically kind of playing a dick for the most part in the movie, but he's very closed off and reserved as a character, because he's got a lot of things that he doesn't want. A, he doesn't want out, and B, he doesn't really know how to express himself in that way, because he's used to being so tightly wound and trying to be the best performer he can be that he just can't express himself in a way that it actually brings him on to becoming an alcoholic. And so the trip that these two have is an amazing sight, through the ups and downs that they go through, whether it be, racist people, cops, alcoholism, basically their cultures clashing between one another. It's a great overall story to watch these two unfold, and to watch this friendship grow and become something amazing by the end of the film. Also stand out would be Linda Cardellini. She plays Viggo Mortensen's wife, Dolores. She doesn't have a whole lot to do in the movie, but the scenes that she is in, she's great in. I think she's a criminally underrated actress, and I feel like she really gets to show at least enough to be noticed as an actress, and someone who should be considered for more roles. So she does a great job overall. So yeah, definitely the performances are what makes this movie basically reach its highest levels. Now, what doesn't work for the film is there is a homosexual storyline in the movie. I mean, this is based on true events. So, I mean, there's a homosexual storyline in the movie that I felt like they could have gone a little deeper or a little more into, that they just really don't delve into enough. They have one scene for it, and then they just never mention it again. Now, I mean, back in the day, maybe that's what they did, but I felt like it could have grown or made a bigger character story arc for that particular character, and just having one scene I just felt wasn't enough to earn the role. So that was something that I just wish he kind of would have delved into a little bit more. If not more, not seeing it, but just more talking about it instead of just trying to sweep it under the rug. Also, there's a couple scenes that just don't make a whole lot of sense, especially the opening scene. This is not particularly a spoiler because this kind of explains how Tony, gets the job with Don. But at the beginning of the other movie, Tony takes this guy's hat, and then by taking the guy's hat, the Copa closes, and that's why he needs a job, and he gets hired by Don. But the Copa gets shut down for 2 months. Because Tony takes this guy's hat, but then Tony returns the hat, but there's not really anything that goes on past that. So I mean, there's not really any explanation. It looks like he was just trying to get in good with this guy because this guy was a higher up, and so he was trying to make a name for himself. But nothing ever comes out of it, except for maybe that's the reason why he gets hired by Don in the first place. So that scene was just kind of thrown out there, and it just didn't have a right connection with the rest of the film. There's also another scene about halfway through the film where a couple of Tony's friends catch up to him and Don while they're traveling, and they're supposed to meet for dinner, and we don't see the dinner scene. They just kind of skim over it, and we move back on with the regular story between Tony and Don. So I kind of would have wished we could have had that scene, because it was enough to put in the film, so why not complete it and actually show what actually happened during that dinner, but we never got that. But overall, Green Book is an incredibly heartwarming, very well acted, and just a great film overall. And I mean, it deserves the recognition that it's getting. Like I said, Viggo and Mahershala Ali are both getting nominated for awards. Viggo with lead actor, and Mahershala for supporting. It's also being nominated for Best Picture, and I can't remember if the director is nominated or not, but it's well deserved. This is definitely one of the better films of the year. It's a great story throughout, with great character development for the most part for both characters, and it's a delight to watch. There are going to be some moments that are hard to watch, but overall, I think you guys are really going to enjoy it, and I could not recommend Green Book enough for any of you guys who are interested, or if not interested, at least more interested now by hearing this review. But yeah, so that's the review for Green Book, and I hope you guys check it out. I hope you guys also liked the review, and if you did, like I said, don't forget to hit that like button. If you feel it's worth sharing, go ahead and share it out with the world. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and all the social media outlets you see down below. And until next time, until I see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Movie Crusaders.